Welcome, punters, to the Flemington preview show. I'm Drew Patchell. I'm joined by Nick Noonan.
Drewsy.
Back again. How you doing, mate?
Good. After Wednesday fill up, we're back.
It was a pretty good day all around. A few got home at big odds, so
Yeah, something.
16s early for your value on the pod, and mine was 7s out to 12s and still got the job done. So
Well, good luck to anyone that got the 16s. I only locked in 11s and didn't have a good enough result there, but I'll keep play on.
I went, something small on your one at I think I got 11s, 14s at a certain place. 50 each way and pays the bills, happy days.
Happy days. What about this Flemo meeting?
It's quite an interesting one. I mean, there's been a lot of rain around, so it's still like a soft 6 at the moment, time of filming, but sun's going to shine tomorrow. Surely with the drainage there, they're not going to put any water on, or you'd hope not. So you'd be getting a soft 5, if not, good 4 range.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking a 5 to even potentially a 4, like you said, like if they get no rain. It's the best draining track we have in Australia, probably, so there's no reason to say why it won't be, on the better side.
Wait a sec, no Nick Williams runners? No, we're good.
Not in on. There's no races for them though.
Yeah.
No staying races really.
Well, exactly. That's why they're not around. So we're good. We're going to have a soft 5 to good 4 track. So how do you think it's going to play? As usual, Flemington, tempo related. Everyone gets their chance if the tempo is correct.
Yeah, well, true. A lot of those races will be tempo related. A lot of lead-ups have been tempo related as well. All this form sort of ties into each other with this meeting because there's been a lot of these are all a series. These are finals of a series. So there's been sort of all those lead-up races, and I think it'd be a matter of the platforms the horses have coming into them. Say like the last race, like Shawnee, she's coming out of some very fastly run races. She potentially strikes a slow race in the last race. So it'll be an interesting day's racing.
Well, that's you've touched on a good point here, being a finals day, right? So you've got the exposed form. It's not like you're going into a 2-year-old maiden race where you've got some unseen trialers, you've got a few things being well backed. You've seen these horses go around, and the markets should generally reflect the efforts that these horses have put in if those patterns remain. So it is a day that generally you can get 5-6 favourites just bolt in, but then you'll get that massive blowout because you'll get a tempo turnaround and something will go wrong. I find these days probably the best to punt on. Similar to, I find Group 1 racing is the best to punt on because you've got the exposed form, you know how good they're going to be. That's why I love my Group 1 International. They very rarely throw up a result you don't expect.
Get into it, race 1?
Yeah, straight into it. 1,400 metres. It's the Lilani Series final. It is for the mares. You want to do the odds?
I'll do the odds. $1.75 for Organza is the shortest quote available for her at the moment. $5.50 El Questro, $7.50 Per Eclipse, and $9 for Pop Queen. Sort of our single figures there. Yeah,
Per Eclipse should be the one leading them around here. There's a few behind that could potentially push forward, but Per Eclipse is going to, push the tempo here. No doubt about that. Should be genuine enough. I don't see them going helter-skelter. I thought it was a really strange price for Organza here. I think on what it's done to date, it does not deserve to be $1.80 in this field. Barrier 9, every chance they'll snick it, if not get trapped 3 wide the trip and have to, do something that I think it probably hasn't done previously data-wise. So, look, does it deserve to be favourite? Maybe, but $1.80 at that price, it's going to be close to my lay of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. We may have a different view here, but my 2 I like in this race, Per Eclipse. Its last 3 runs, first, second. Its only win of those 3 was at 1,400. Steps back to it today. Handles a slow tempo, handles a fast tempo. It'll be there in the finish no matter what. And most importantly, it gets control of the race out the front. So it's race to lose. It'll be there at the 200 and it'll be giving you a good show at, $8?
Yeah.
The other one I think is maybe one of the most impressive horses going around and up-and-comer is El Questro. This horse just keeps flying under the radar. I think the stable know they've got a really good horse. Last prep, nothing went right. This prep, 2 wins in a row. Look, yeah, it has to improve its data, but I think this is a really classy horse on the way up, and I think it can win here. So I'll be backing Per Eclipse and El Questro.
Well, we had a question read this race from Chris. Do you take the $1.80 Organza, was pretty much his question, or do you take the $2.20 Prairie Eclipse to place? He said Organza looks a super bet, but $1.80 for a back marker with little luck. Thoughts? I reckon you're in the place camp there, Druzy, aren't you?
Well, you're getting a horse that's going to control the tempo, so you should be getting the ride that suits the horse. There's nothing, you don't need any luck.
Yeah. No
if the horse is good enough, it's going to run that place for you. The only thing that's going to stop you, in my opinion, based on all the data and what I know about it, I think it's a really good place bet. The only thing that's going to stop you is the horse underperforming. Yeah. And there is certainly that query a week between runs, 1,600 back to 1,400, fast run race last start. It could be over the top, but was this an afterthought race, or was that the hit up it needed to then go to the next level back to 1,400 here? All the questions you've got to ask yourself are definitely in the 220 camp for the place.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know with that one. I'd probably lean Organza because I probably think she is the most likely winner. I can see why she is so short in the market coming back from listed in group racing this preparation. But
take $1.80?
No, I sort of marked her around $2.40, $2.50, and marked our question much shorter than what she is. Yeah, Organza's last start was pretty good. You could make the case she probably should have won. Reed Profit just got away with a bit of murder out in front, and Organza was a bit of a victim of circumstances. Her last run, prior to that, she probably could have beat Renewal. Well, that's my main concern with her will to win. She doesn't really... she's always sort of thereabouts, but she never really puts away a field. So,
you don't want a horse that looms and doesn't put it away at Flemington.
I think at $1.80, that'd be my main concern if I was looking to chime into it. I don't think she's no moral, but I definitely probably think she is your likely starting point in the race, because the rest of these mares just aren't much good. Pop Queen looked like File Up winning the other day. Yeah. Prior to that, couldn't get out of its own way. I was with you. I thought I thought she was overs at $5.50. She's returned in very good order this preparation. First up, she ran in a fast run race at Sandown. Returned some good figures for the day and relative to the sort of class and the distance there. And then she just beat up the mares last start. No, it's Wednesday form, but she's just absolutely flying. And she does have form around some Saturday horses last preparation, like Shrewd in the Mist and Co, who would be hard in the market in a race like this. She'd probably be second favourite. So I just think they've started to work this mare out. And at $5.50, I was much happier to back her at $5.50 than Organza at $1.80, given I have the slight knock that it could be a bit of a cat.
Agree completely there. I think we are both betting up early. On to race number 2, 2,000 metres, the VRC CRV Cup Tour Trophy Open Handicap.
No, we're off the bid here. Market.
So Impy's been scratched here, who was $2.90 favourite. So
yeah,
the West Australian Pat Carey thing that had run no data, but looks like a very promising type.
Been in slow racing, so it was hard for it to really produce a figure. It's scratched, so it's been significant deductions out of this market, so we're not really going to say too much about the moves. $2.80 Masculino is our favourite now from $3.40 Pakadali. $5.10 Hat Trusting, $5 the Statesman, $7 Second Bullet, and Barry the Baptist at 13s, and Almeida at 60s.
Yeah, Masculino probably just gets the leader here again, like last start at Caulfield. It probably,
Well, Impy coming out is key to this race, because Impy was going to be your leader.
So, does something maybe a Hat Trusting push forward?
Could change the whole race shape, because Impy had Michael Walker aboard, and its only 2 starts had gone slow to the 600 metres. Last start, it went ridiculously slow at Echuca. So, Masculino's in the same boat though. If he takes up the lead and they ride him like they did last week, that was a feeding and barrier trial as well. So.
Well, he just kept going as well, which is the thing. So it's not like he doesn't have a turn of foot. And you wouldn't, if they went slow out front, who would you be backing to go past them? The Statesman's got an okay turn of foot. Pakadali's okay, but they're no sprint superstars. They're going to find their best off a strong tempo. Even Second Bullet's going to get out the back. Imagine if they actually were positive on Second Bullet and led.
It did happen once.
Yeah, they've gone forward with it.
And he won at Flemington a few years ago.
He's not the worst horse here. There are only 2 standouts here for me. They're Pakadali and the Statesman. Look, Pakadali's figures, it's a consistent horse. It runs the data times you want to see. It'll measure up here. The Statesman, very good third at Sandown first up behind Mr. Marathon Man, who's one of your horses in your stable. Up in distance, the key.
One of many.
Yeah.
I'm like a Team Waller. I've got plenty of horses in my stable.
I think the most important thing is the Statesman had a lot to come from memory from the yard at Sandown. So I think it'd be improving here. They're the two chances here. Yeah, Masculino is the favourite, and I understand it's going to be there or thereabouts in the right spot. I just think the price is too short.
Well, he got an ultimate PR last Saturday. The same thing could happen here. He's right down in the weights. Lockie King stays aboard. He's a horse who's third up he was last week, and he won. His fourth up record was pretty good as well, so he only gets better the sort of deeper he goes into his preparation. It wasn't a race I was too keen to bet into. Of the March, I'd probably lean the Statesman, just because I think he might have a bit more sort of upside at this stage in his preparation. Packardali, bit of a gap between runs. I thought
had his chance to win as well. That's the issue.
He got beaten by Moani Oshimi, who just kicked back to beat him. The Statesman stays down to the minimum. Willow jumps on for Teo. Can't be a negative. There was a bit of mail going around the camp. This horse was going very well leading into that run. So if he's only come through that one fine, where he ran third to Mr. Marathon Man, he's, him and Waging War are the two favourites later in the day. My only slight knock was the platform. Like, it just seems like 2,000 metres come out of nowhere. I'd love to see him have another run at 1,800 or a mile, and then I'd be really keen to back him. But I think that this is a camp they can get the legs underneath them and have that base anyway to step up and trip. So he was the way I was probably playing the race in a tricky race. Like, I could see Masculino doing exactly the same thing he did last week. None of the other jockeys showing any sort of initiative, and he just gets away with another one. Like, that could happen.
I find your platform comment there interesting because it's very true for Aussie trainers compared to, say, in the UK, they'll start horses at 2,000 metres, no issues. But over here, we'll start them, like the midweek Waller runner that I've tipped, right? 1,500 up to 2,100. Most trainers, you'd be scared shitless to back that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because it has got no platform. But Waller's probably one of those trainers where you're okay with it. What do you think of, it's a Mars stable, isn't it?
Mars stable. They do a fair bit of beach work with a horse like this, so that does get the legs underneath him, because it's like if you went down and run on the beach, or any athlete, like, it's a different sort of work and it's a different sort of impact on the joints, where it can be easier for them to do sort of long sustained work, because it's not as repetitive and hard on their legs as running around a racetrack every sort of morning. So they are a camp that have a lot of different options for getting their horses fit, and I'd imagine this horse would be, off what I saw first up, he had a bit of improvement, but it wasn't
too much.
4 or 5 lengths. Like, he was, second or third up, he's going to be ready to go. So I'm just a bit sceptical one run too early, but I might just... the fact that Willow's on is a huge tick. They are
massive tick at this time of year.
Showing some intent there.
Flemington Race 3, 1,600 metres, the Silver Bowl Series final. It's for 3-year-olds. It's an open handicap, and Buffalo River is $1.80.
No, he's not.
What price?
Into $1.65 some places now.
Wow. That's a big sustained go. Someone must think it is a genuine superstar.
Heavenly Emperor, $6. $6.50 Asgard Massif. $8.50 Mr. Exclusive, and the rest you can have double figures, punters.
Buffalo River really well backed last start, as if it was unbeatable, and looks like they're doing the same here. Asgard Massif was really poor late last start. The data didn't really play well out of that Sandown meeting in general.
Well, they're the key horses from the map. Like, Asgard Massif will probably lead Buffalo River again, I'd imagine, from barrier 1.
Asgard will lead them up. It'll put a good tempo on.
I don't imagine they'll want Buffalo River at first time a mile, or first time in Australia a mile, to just go out there and lead. Like, I'd imagine, like that last start, they'll try and get him to settle, which you probably can do from barrier 1. Like, horses will cross him, like Mr. Exclusive and Asgard Massif. So I had him mapped in the box seat.
Okay. Any others going forward that you think? I mean, you probably got
maybe a nudge bar.
Yeah,
Rock the
Mr. Exclusive likes to be forward. None of them will be pushing for the tempo, so it's obviously those two. Interesting to be in the death seat, Buffalo River from the barrier.
Yeah, they could well be.
Yeah, look, Asgard Massif, I couldn't back it here. I think it's probably coming to the end of its prep based on what I saw last start. So it's on the downward trend. I can respect what people are, backing Buffalo River, but I'm not taking that price, am I? The one horse that stands out for me, and I liked it when it was scratched last start, is Heavenly Emperor. Broke the clock last start. It was a to-the-eye, powerful win. The puntingform.com.au data backs it up. It was a significantly strong 6.42. It's the one that I want to be with here. Outside of that, that form, Aristocratic Miss has backed it up, having a win on Wednesday.
How did it win? It was gone at the corner.
We went too slow at it.
I'm just glad I wasn't betting him playing laying it. That would have been even worse.
That's a great game about the lays that we put up though, right? So my lay's gone out from $4.80 to $15, and then I backed it because it was good in the yard, and it's run okay. I'm skeptical.
Yeah, same thing happened with me. I wanted to lay that Adelaide horse, and then once they came to the outing yard, I was like, I might be a bit wrong.
Well, I backed it.
And I ended up backing it.
And then, obviously, I like to aristocratic miss. How am I saying it wrong? I've got it written down in front of me. Aristocratic miss. I liked it, obviously, as you knew. You had it as your later date, but then it's got out to $8, and you...
Yeah, you got to just chop on it. Yeah. There's a difference between laying for a horse at $3 and like $8.
The great game. So, what do you like here? I'm Heavenly Emperor each way.
In terms of short price favourites on the day that will be the hardest to beat, I think this will be the one, Buffalo River. His 2 runs in Australia have been dominant. Like, both of his wins, you sort of only got to watch them to realise the data sort of... it backs him up enough. Like, there's enough to say that he's a decent sort of horse. He doesn't have sort of group class data across any platform really, but that can be hard when you don't sort of strike a race shape. I think he's a pretty progressive horse. He's got to carry the 60 kilos. He's a bit of a head case, but I think he'll be getting the job done here. If there was a horse I was going to take in, say, a multi, and that's if you're looking to play the meeting of, say, like him, Shawnee or Ganza, this would be the one I'd be happy to sort of anchor.
You're not scared that he could lose in the yard a bit?
No, he was okay in the yard last start, so I think it's more just his racing manners. His yard, he was still a bit fiery, but it wasn't anything sort of too bad, so...
You wouldn't like to see him sitting behind Asgard Massif in play and watching Willow give it a little bit of the Nicko out front and then falling back on him would be over racing.
If he gets out, he'll be too good for this field. And there's sort of nothing that has his sort of upside. He'll be a dominant player in the spring if they look to take him there. He's a horse with severe upside. The horse I thought was way over the odds is Phone Me. If you took Buffalo River out of the race, I'd be happy to back this horse. Off his last start run where he just got way too far back behind Street Chic, he hit the line pretty well. The start prior, he didn't run out 2,000 metres. He loomed into the race like he was going to win. He returned really well first up at Caulfield. I thought his jump outs were pretty decent for a horse like him. I just think he finds a bit of a setup here. $19. I think he'd be like $4 a place.
Probably $455 if you...
$4.40 the place. Yeah. He was probably the way I'd be happy, but I honestly couldn't back anything to beat Buffalo River. He's definitely not a lay at $1.60.
On to race number 4, 2,600 metres, the Banjo Patterson Series Final. I like the name of this one, the Banjo Patterson. It's a true Aussie race. What are we doing odds-wise?
Looking at here, 290 future score. It's been 380 at 290 in the early. Shooting the Mob, $3.80, $5.50 Bobal Main, $6 last week, $7 Moani Machine. I think if we're talking about horses tied in sort of form lines, this is definitely the race where they are just all tied in. There's no fresh blood here whatsoever.
So in terms of the speed here, this is where I'm having a bit of trouble with the race and being confident of backing stuff because there's no natural leader.
San Remo can go forward. Maybe they really use her up from barrier 1.
But does last week really want to lead as well? Flemington doesn't exactly want to lead. They all want to be on speed. San Remo probably doesn't even want to lead. So
I thought Moani Machine maybe.
They might roll again.
Yeah, this looks a tricky race. Like Shooting the Mob, he's won 4 in a row now. He beat last week in Flow Meter. It took him the whole straight to get there. I think the 2,600 metres is only going to be advantageous.
Advantageous, and let's be honest, on what it had to do last start, that was a massive win because they've just gone too slow for it.
It does rise 5.5 kilos in the weights of what he met them last start. Like last start he carried 54.5. All of a sudden he gets in here with 60.
Massive concern.
I'm not a huge weights man, but that's got to mean something.
It means a lot over 2,600 metres to me. So... Future score I can consider. I think it's data out of what it did last start was obviously good. I think it wants a really strongly run race. So Moani Machine's going to be make or break for it. Look, Moani Machine was pretty impressive last start. Had no favours. Just still kept Pakadali out.
Kick back to keep.
Yeah. Bred to get the distance. Look, it's going to be hard to beat. Shooting the Mob, you've already mentioned all the information.
What about your horse, Bobal Main?
it may be go time for him. What's the lugging bit going to do for me? So explain this for punters. Lugging bit on. You're being son of a trainer. What's it going to do for me?
I don't know. Not much, I imagine. I don't think it's a real key change.
Me neither. I was trying to figure out why they're putting a lugging bit on.
Maybe because he pulls a bit in the run.
He doesn't get it. So, okay, when I watch his horse's replay, he's got a lovely action, but he really failed to, I'm going to say, let down in terms of getting his head down as he's running. So a bit of the, what's a really good, a very elegant head carriage in the straight. Would a lugging bit help to get more focus and get, a more fluid stride with the head going down and more better rhythm, or?
Look, it could do. It could have a different effect on sort of all horses. Those sort of gear changes, I don't really know, to be honest. Well, off his first up run and his run last start, he's got to be riding a race like this. It's just a matter of whether, again, how much of a sort of base and a platform he has underneath him compared to the rest of the field who are coming off like multiple 2,400, 2,500 metre runs.
He was well short first up. He was still short last start. 2,600 metres should suit.
Wasn't he going in the paddock after his last run, or did I read that?
No, I didn't see that anyway. The only reason they would have gone to the paddock was to prepare for spring, and it would have been like a 30-day paddock, just to freshen up.
Yeah.
So, no, they're sticking on. This horse will be at the top of its ability, top of its fitness.
Well, the way the race shaped up for him last start, he kind of really had no chance of winning. Like, Moani Machine just dominated on speed. I thought he could have been a bit better to the line, but he was sort of my starting point in the race. I thought $6.
He kept on wanting to lay in behind the horse in front of him. So if you watch, so this is a good thing racing.com do, is I'll give you the steward's vision. So the whole straight, he kept on laying in when, not even whipped, just under riding, kept getting in behind the horse. And then you'd pull it back out, you'd lose a little bit. He just lost a lot of momentum doing that. I think this is a horse that I kind of want to be hitting the lead at the top of the straight on. And then the horse will just hopefully keep going.
Yeah.
I think each way it's a decent play, but, will I be unloading the truck here? No, it'll be a minor play for me at best.
Yeah, he's a tricky race. If I have Bobo
it's a yard race.
Top, future score's short here at $3, isn't he?
Extremely short, almost lay of the day territory.
Yeah, I couldn't get him anywhere near $3. I know Willow goes on and he stays right down in the weights, but he just fell in last start against Jakes Hill and Miramar. He's got benchmark 78 for him. I know he's on the up, but so are a few horses in this field. Shooting the Mobs just sort of put it all together. Bobo Main's only had a sort of few runs here in Australia.
The only reason Moani Machine went so fast last start was because it had to. It literally had to do the work 3 wide, get around them, and by that time the horse is stoked up going. So that's why the tempo was on. Whereas here, it'll probably just be Canada the lead if they want it. So,
and there's no reason to say he can't win. It's not a huge betting race for me.
It's probably one of the toughest on the card.
Race 5?
Yes, race number 5 is the listed 2-year-old race, the Taj Rossi Series Final.
Yeah, 2:10 now, Ruby Saki, so she's getting in pretty short. She's our favourite. $7 for Desert Dreamer, $7.50 Pancho, your mate. $7.50 Moonlight Maid for Mitchie Friedman. Then we're out to $9.50 Cassius and $11 Night Passage.
Namarari.
Yeah, I sort of had it going forward.
Mrs. Beckham. Then you got 2 from the outside, Night Passage and Desert Dreamer. They should
I thought a horse who, off her jump out, she was a horse that rode the speed and then was slow away first up at Donald, was off Mira. Yep. I had her map much closer, 1,000 metres up to a mile. I thought she could be a horse that could be a speed influence.
What price is it in the market, interestingly?
It was around hundreds. It's into 40s.
Okay, that's a bit of just a little bit of.
I thought she was
going forward. Was that you sniped it?
No, I should have. I thought she was a very good 100-to-1 chance in a race
like this. One day we'll be recording something like this, and you'll actually tell me you took the money.
No, I liked her jump outs going into her run at Donald, and I just. Oh, it's a boy actually. His jump outs going into his run at Donald. He jumped out very good at Hamilton and a few other out wide joints, and then he just missed the start. And he got way too far back in a 1,000-metre race. Not a 1,000-metre horse. His last sort of 200, although he was still beating 10 lengths, his last 200 he was actually doing some okay work late. From the Prushka camp, the bloke's a freak. If he's into 40s, just think there's more to this horse than what was a 100 to 1 chance. I thought he was more like a $21 chance in a race like this. So there's a bit of an overlay there, but it's kind of going. He'll get back out to say hundreds on the fair. I won't be losing on him.
Yeah, I'll be having something on after that nice little push there. Hopefully it's not back to like your one in the midweek.
That was just off the map.
Yeah, in a 550 favourite. Look, there are two horses here that interest me. The first one is Moonlight Maid. Look, that was a bottomless heavy track.
Gee, it was a win. It was a win at Geelong.
Yeah, the data's sound of it. It'll handle this. It's a horse that you have to respect. But my bet of the days here in Ruby Saki. You can't be more impressive data-wise and to the eye-wise than what this horse did last start. It was winning at the 300. Nothing was going to even go close. It maps perfectly again from barrier 5. I'm very keen to take $2.10 every day of the week for a horse with this amount of talent that maps so well in a race that should suit tempo-wise, everything-wise. Like, the only thing that gets it beat for mine is something like Moonlight Maid absolutely improving and jumping out of the ground, and I don't think there's more than 1 to 2 chances it can actually do that, or a terrible ride, which is part and parcel of racing. So there's nothing you can do about that. I can't control it. All I can do is say I want to take the odds, and at 2.10 it is my bet of the day.
Yeah, look, she's going to be very hard to beat. Ruby Saki, like her win at Seymour, she recorded the best figures on the day. Her last start, she's gone huge on the punting form data.
Stable's flying.
Stable's absolutely airborne. It's probably one, if not one of the best camps in Victoria. Like they just win races, even with backward tactics. They still manage to come out and win.
67% ROI past 50 runners, going at 30% runners to winners. Like, that's just...
Imagine if they rode their horses on speed.
Oh, I know. But that's the good thing. This is one of those horses that actually won't be getting back to last as well. That's why I can actually back it in this camp, because I know I'm going to get a good positive ride.
Yeah, up to the mile, everything sort of ticks the boxes. $2.10. I think she's short enough, like, realistically. Desert Dreamer was a good winner to Chuka. Absolutely PR'd. He'll suit the mile. Cassius will suit the mile. Pancho was beat by Ruby Saki, but I think the mile's going to be right up his alley. Moonlight Maid, who you touched on, she recorded very good figures at Geelong.
Yeah.
Like, she was, I think, 3rd best on the day at her first start on a bottomless heavy track on the punting form data. So that was a serious win by her. And then sort of post-race, Mitch Friedman said the boys had a bit of time for this filly, so maybe the SP just sort of didn't weigh that up. There was a favourite that was hard in the market at $2 that didn't really run completely up to market expectations, so maybe we can take a little bit of a line there. But I thought if there was going to be a big improver, it would be her to knock off Ruby Saki, because you don't know where her ceiling is.
Yeah, agreed.
Whereas a few of them, like Pancho's probably got to lift 2.5 lengths to come out and beat her, and Desert Dreamer and Cassie is probably the same.
Yeah, if you were to tell me who I'd be backing out of any of the horses to beat Ruby Saki, it would be Moonlight Maid, and I think the market's probably telling that to us as well.
I know she got beat at $1.26 at Pakenham last start, but I thought Edinburgh wasn't the worst 40s chance here. She gets the blinkers back on. She actually has the mile run, which is sort of, well, she has a 1400 metre run, I should say, but her form behind Skiddaw, like, that ties in very much with the Ruby Saki race, so she's not the worst $41 chance with the blinkers going on.
So, what's your bet here? I'm confused.
I'm backing Zophmira.
Okay.
When it drifts out, BSP.
BSP, the Betfair SP, if you do not know, there was a winner last week at Caulfield. It was $70 the tote, $133 on Betfair. So you're doing yourself out of money if you're not taking Betfair SP
for sure.
for the top tote at these prices. On to race number 6. It is 2,500 metres, the Mahogany Challenge final. Obviously not the Mahogany Room at Crown, but the Old Horse Mahogany they're celebrating. 3-year-old open handicap prices.
You done any damage in the Mahogany Room, Druzy?
I have been to the Mahogany Room 3 times, and I've come out ahead twice.
Something.
Yeah, well, the good thing with VIP members that I have friends of Betfair VIP, so the big high rollers at Betfair, they get a little bit of a alcohol allowance when you're a Mahogany Room member. So Betfair certainly looks after the big punters.
I've never been in there. I don't think they let in 20-year-old battling punters, but
Oh, they'd let you in, I reckon.
maybe one day I'll
We'll get you
strive
in
for
there.
that sort of greatness. That's a pretty good horse, Mahogany, actually. I remember watching his back history replays.
Got to go back a little bit of a way, but
He was a champ, probably before I was born, but he was a champion. Current favourite here is Dogmatic, $3.40 in front of not a single cent at $4.80. $7 for American in Paris, $8 Wealthy Wolf, $9 El Victore, and around 13s for Dunman and 11s Reflect the Stars. First leg of the quaddie.
yeah, not the best first leg of a quaddie I've ever seen. Cut Atlantic led a field 15 lengths fast to the 600 last start over 2,400 metres.
Brutal tempo.
Pardon?
Brutal
Tempo. So you would expect that it's the natural leader here. If the speed is on, then look, it just allows things to come over and they'll kind of space out a little bit. So Predecessor, Igniter, even for, Wealthy Wolf can probably push forward if they want to. So there's options for things out wide to get in. I don't think you should be getting...
Many of these horses in this race are coming out of, like you look at the Dogmatic
Yeah.
at his last run, even like at his last run at Caulfield last week, even the Sandown race that a few of them come out of, including El Victore, and then the other Sandown race, the 2,400 metre race, which Dunman won, beating Wealthy Wolf, all very, very fastly run races.
Yeah. I'm finding this probably one of it's the least favourable race for me to bet into for the day. I can't go around Dogmatic here. I couldn't tip you anything else, but at the same time, I just look at all the data. Dogmatic has run group times. If Tabby run it backed up here, it would have been a $2 shot.
Yeah.
They would have to have it $2. I don't think it'd actually get the distance, personally, Tabby run, so I'm glad they didn't. Dogmatic looks like the type that'll keep improving. It's with the right stable. It still killed the field last start. It was, still had a lot to give on the line. So I think it was actually wanting 2,500 metres. So I can see why it's favourite here. Peace Brother, Predecessor have to improve, but so do all the others here. So Dogmatic is just the way I have to go here, but I'm not overly keen.
I think Wealthy Wolf's really looking for the trip. He's going to get back in the field. He only really has one gear, but I backed him last start and thought he was absolutely no chance 1,000 metres out. And he just sort of worked his way home to the line for second, behind Dunman, who's... Wealthy Wolf's $8 and Dunman's 14s here. A bit of sort of interesting market play there. For me, I thought American in Paris could improve up to 2,400 set for the race with the low going on. I thought the bet in the race was probably not a single cent back from the Queensland Derby. And up north, his run to Queensland Derby, although the SP 100 to 1 was actually pretty good. He ran sixth, was a bit unlucky in the straight. And then he went to Sydney, heavy track, he carried a big weight, he got a bit held up on the corner. Can probably nearly forgive that run. He's had the 2,400 metre runs under his belt now. He's got a bit of... he's only fifth up compared to a lot of these who seem like they've been going around forever and might be a bit sort of chewed up. So with the fresh blood, Ben Mallum, it's always been a horse that's had a lot of talent. Finally getting to his right sort of trip. I was happy to back not a single cent at $4.80.
Makes a load of sense to me. On to race number 7. It is the 1,200 metre All Victorian Sprint Series final. Markets.
Sure is. Milwaukee is our current sort of favourite at around $4. Actually, they backed in Halvorsen into favourite.
Really?
$4.40 into $3.80.
Who's doing that?
So Halvorsen in favourite just from Milwaukee at $4, and then we're sort of out to nearly double figures, like $7.50 Holly Blades had a bit of specking, $9.50 Malibu Style, then $11 Invincible. Oh, there's a few of my mates in this field.
That's a fair point. A lot of non-winning old mates as well.
There's not a whole lot of speed here. Crown Fontaine was right on speed in the Topaz at Swanhill, but he didn't go fast.
No.
Serious
The Tasmanian horse has to lead, doesn't it?
It's 1,200. I don't know if he can get there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And 500 days between runs, so...
That's got to be a concern.
Milwaukee and Malibu Style probably just have the natural speed just to sit there or thereabouts as well. So,
yeah.
I'm considering that they could be there. This is a really tricky race speed-wise. They could crawl the first 400 metres and that kind of throws form out the window. Like Milwaukee last start, it looked gone at the 3,400.
Off the canvas.
Yeah, it's just lifted and lifted and lifted to your detriment.
Yes.
Look, Malibu Style, I thought, has done nothing wrong this prep. It's just found one too good last start, found one too good the previous start in Bandipur and Jungle Edge. It's been beating one of the most talented horses in William Thomas home. I think it's probably going to be the value of the race. Like, I know, what price are we, $859 still? You'll tell me I'm wrong.
$9.50.
Yeah, $9.50. Like, it's a great each way bet. It'll be there in the finish. This is a very deep race, so like Serious Suspect, I'm telling you as a prime example, that'll get out to 25s on the day and you'll probably have to have it as a winner in your book. Look, Holy Blade, Helvorson I can respect, but I'm not sure it's a 1,200 metre horse, so I'm taking it on at the
I'm
price.
going to have one bet in this race. I'm just going to lay Halvorsen.
Ooh.
How's it $3.80?
See it this year lay of the day.
Doesn't run 1,200.
Betfair lay of the day?
Yeah, I'll lay it.
Ooh, I like it. I like the confidence. So, if you were to pick who would be winning this race, who would you be going for then?
Look, I don't really know. I think of that sort of form line that Milwaukee, I'm telling you, Holy Blade, it was absolutely gone Milwaukee, and he still kicked back to beat them all.
Yeah.
Like, I still think he's probably the horse to take out of that race because they all had his chance to beat him and they couldn't do it, and he'd be better suited to 1,200.
He's got heart as well.
And he gets Ollie back on. Like, it's tick, 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 tick. I'm telling you, it's a stupid price at 17s. I'm with you, Malibu Style brings in a bit of DF. Crown Fontaine brings in a DF. I could see either of those five winning. Invincible Hour against Willow, on Talia Hope to Willow, like what a jockey change. I just thought Invincible Hour was very short at the price. Like,
Extremely, yeah.
His last run, he's been up for a while.
It'll be back though because of the stable.
He drifted bad last start. He loomed into the race like he was going to win and did absolutely nothing. I think he's better horse at 1,000 metres to 1,100. He won a race over 1,200, beating Hawkshot at Moonee Valley, but he got away with a bit of a race there. He had a bit of a PR. It's from an unfavourable camp for mine. I can't believe he's $3.40. He's like, I had him more as an $8, $9 chance here.
Fair enough. On to race number 8, the Winter Championship, 1,600 metres. I've been saying there's a few hard races on the day. Well, this one may actually top the lot of them.
You reckon?
Sounds like you're confident here. What's the prices doing?
Well, prices currently waging... No, don't want to look at that. Just took us off to a different link there. Waging war, $4.20, $5 for Mr. Marathon Man, $7 for Reykjavik, $9 Romances had a bit of specking. He sort of opened around 14, so he's been one that's had a bit of specking. Apart from that, doesn't look like from the flux there's been a lot of action in this market at all. Maybe punters thinking along the same train as you there, Drizzy.
Well, look, I see a lack of tempo here, so I think Hell of a Street will naturally just take the lead, run around at benchmark. Look, advantage to that horse. It's the one to beat, Hell of a Street, based on it'll get the lead most likely. It'll have it run to suit, and you got to get past it. So that's always a big thing for me is you take luck out of the equation.
Yeah, I don't think you run a mile myself.
Okay. Outside of that, Bad Wolf was too bad last start to, totally jump off the train. I think it'll be $20, $30 on the day, and it'll probably be going as a winner in my book. Romance and Waging War, Mr. Marathon Man can all win, but if I play here, it's small. You like something at odds? Or favourites?
Mr. Marathon Man's win at Sandown was
you one of your mates.
Outstanding. Like, he was one of the only horses of the day that come from near last, made up huge ground, and still got over the top of Waging War to win, who is currently favourite here, which kind of shocks me. Maybe it's a map-related thing. I know they went fast in that race, like to the 600 on the Plenty From Data, around 13.5 lengths, sort of quick on the all benchmark, but I know a lot of people saying that's why he was able to get home over the top of him, but it was the only horse all day.
Yeah, no one else did it.
Any ground.
Everything just kept on going, even if they went stupid fast.
He's a serious horse. I think if he's not going to be sort of winning by 5 or 6 lengths or anything like that, he's going to be getting there right on the line, but at $5, I was keen to follow him up here and back him. Damien Oliver stays aboard. He's going to carry the weight, but much like Buffalo River earlier in the day, I think this horse is a horse in the program that will progress to bigger and better things than listed grade racing in the middle of winter, off season, I should say. So he was a horse I was keen to back on the program. I think Waging War is his danger again. He's going to roll forward. He gets Willow on. He's going to be right there in the finish as well. Radipole, Mr. Marathon's man stablemate, can improve. His best form, he wasn't far away in the race like the Kentala Stakes and some other high-class races.
That horse is what I'd call a number. I'll always, if it wins a race, I'm happy to take the loss.
I can see why. And Romance, I'd probably put in for fourth, but I was happy. $5, probably going to get similar price on the day, if not more on the fair late.
You'll get more on the day, I reckon.
Like you could get sevens on the fair late. I was keen to back Mr. Marathon Man to beat these again.
Perfect. And on to the last race of the day. It is 1,600 metres. It's the Revette Series final, and it's for 3-year-old fillies. And I am sure Shawnee is a short price favourite. What price are we having? Twos?
Twos, exactly. Twos exactly for Shawnee is our favourite. Willow on. $5 Shamalas, $5.50 for Fabric, and $9 Benny to White. And the rest, double figures.
Extreme lack of tempo here. It's big query, big question marks for Shawnee here for me. Wheel Grace, sealed, collectible.
Fabric maybe.
Fabric, yeah, could be more positive. Camille and Great Duchess, they're all probably the likely ones to go forward. I couldn't tell you with great certainty who's going to lead. I couldn't tell you with great certainty what the tempo is going to be. All I can tell you is I don't think it'll be helter-skelter. I think they'll be going benchmark, if not around that. And that's going to be advantage to other horses in Shawnee whose best runs have been off very fast run tempos. So I think Shawnee's beatable here, and I'm willing to take it on.
100%.
Now, this is my best value of the day. This is a ex-Weir horse. It is with a stable that can, train them 1,600 metres to 2,500 metres, no problems. And which is the Paddy Carey
The
stable.
big man, the big fella, Paddy.
So this horse is called Camille. Look, it never really broke any track records or anything when it was with Weir. It's deep into its prep, but its win at Sale 2 back on speed was good enough to catch my eye. They then went to Flemington last start. It's run fourth behind Shawnee, schnicked, not violently because there wasn't any of this action going on. It was simply, we jump out of the gates and we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to drift back to last, then have to go around the whole field, cover ground, and the way it finished off was more than satisfactory for me off the tempo that was run to suggest that Reece McLeod off, Damien Thornton on, I'm taking as a little positive. They can be more forward from barrier 2. I've really got a lot of time for these Camelot fillies and mares and Molly and Colts.
Well, you've only got to look at sort of her debut win was at Stall, pretty good,
Yeah.
and her next start for Darren Wish, she ran a listed race. Like they've obviously always had some sort of opinion of this horse.
What started $15, behind Persuader.
Yeah, I remember. I backed it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I remember.
You gotta love it. You're sick for the game when you know about it. Look, it's just a horse I've kept my eye on, and I think we're getting $41 here. I'm taking this opportunity.
Yeah, not the worst, is it?
Well, it'll be there or thereabouts based on what it did last start. So if they sit midfield, I'm hoping they sit midfield. If they go forward, even better. If they go back to last, it can still figure and run a place. Like, it's run fourth, beaten 4 lengths off a really hot tempo to Shawnee. It does have a decent turn of foot based on what it's done, last 200, 400 over, shorter distances and off of slower tempos. So I think it'd be there or thereabouts. I don't see it running last. So I'm quite confident that I'm getting the right odds.
Drizzy, you're our weatherman here at the mailbag.
Yeah.
Are we any chance to get any sort of rain?
Are you trying to do a rain dance out there?
I would do a rain dance for this horse because if the rain did come, gee, she'd be hard to beat. Shamal Lass.
So Jane Byrne, is that our lady's name?
Jane Bunn.
Bun, that's one close. I was close.
You clearly don't pay too much attention to her little name graphic when she comes on the
Mate,
TV.
you've heard me try and say some of the names of the horses that go around, so you're not surprised that I butcher a name to someone else. 0% chance rain tomorrow, 0% chance rain on Saturday. Foggy at best, so not too much wind around, so that will keep a little bit more moisture in it. You're not going to get rid of the top, the top soffit, so to speak. But yeah, unfortunately, The rain is coming Sunday.
Well, this is very disappointing for Shamal Lass, because if the rain had stuck around, she would have been very, 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 very hard to beat in this race. If we're still getting a soft track on the day, I'm still going to be backing her to beat Shawnee. Her last start win at Geelong was very good on a bottomless heavy track. You've only got to look back through her form. She pushed a horse called Harbour Views to second at Warrnambool. Her win at Donald was outstanding on the clock. Then she went to Flemington on a good 4 track, and Ollie thought that she probably felt the track, which is my main concern with her. Like, if she strikes a good 4 here, which is probably highly likely, she's just not as effective. Like I said, if it's still a soft track, I'm happy to back her. If it was a heavy track, I'd nearly declare this horse. Like, it's absolutely fine. Shawnee, the main problem with her is, like you said, she's coming out of fast run races. She's probably going to come back into a slow race here. She was even a bit sort of fierce through the middle stages of that race. Like, it wasn't like she was relaxed. And the leader on the data was going, 10 lengths above to the 600.
Yeah, there's a bit of issues of
Like,
you're over racing.
She could just strike a completely different race shape and bring her undone. I could not take $2 given that. She was completely blessed to win last start, and now she's got to carry 60 kilos against her own age and sex, and she's giving a horse like Shamal Lass 6 kilos. When at the end of the day, I don't think she's that much better of a horse. So in terms of launching into the prize, we had a few questions if this horse is a complete moral. I don't think she is. I can still see a situation where she wins because apart from Shamal Lass, I think the race is pretty skinny. I've got a bit of time for Bennett White, but I don't know if she's quite up to the class of those two. But yeah, rain dance. Hopefully we can get something out there. Some sort of rain.
You better get out there moving right now because
for this track. But if not, we might have to wait for another day for Shamal Lass. But like I said, if it did come, I'd be nearly declaring it.
So, Casebet Cup this week, we are going to do race number 8 because there is a big field. I think it's a wide open race. And I'm just going to go off the bat and take something at odds being Bad Wolf.
The Wolf?
Yeah, could finish last as well. There's a big chance that, this horse fails again.
Gee, I want to pick something that doesn't finish last, so...
Well, wouldn't you be going your old mate Radipole then? No, Mamselle Testis is never going to finish last, is it?
Yeah, I'll go Radipole. He won't finish last, surely.
Okay, so I'm running you down as Radipole, mate.
I'm yet to have a collect, but I'm yet to lose in the Casebet Cup.
So I may have nailed a $20 shot as the Casebet Cup winner last week. So
something.
Thank you for the case. Best bet, best value, best Betfair lay. I will start off. Race 5 is my best bet. Ruby Saki just wins. Best value, race 9, Camille, getting $41, going each way, very keen, probably 1 by 3 will be my betting staking plan. And lay of the day, it's a toss-up between race 1, Organza, and race 9, Shawnee, but I'll be locking in Shawnee with a slower tempo that will not suit the horse.
Really tricky day for a standout best bet.
Mate, I'll let you put the $1.65 chance as your best bet. I'm okay with that.
The horse I'm most confident in at the current prices of winning is Mr. Marathon Man. Race 8, horse number 1. Honestly, the best bet might just be to lay Halvorsen. In race number 7, horse number 9, I'm going to be putting the sword to him. He'll probably be my biggest result on the day if he gets beat. I was keen to back Alquestro in the first to beat Organza, and I'm keen to back Shamal Lass to beat Shawnee. So I'm against a few of the odds-on favourites. So if we can get them beat, hopefully we get something out of the day.
So we're both keen to take on the two, the favourite in the first and favourite in the last. Yeah, they're the wrong price. Like, I can understand Buffalo River to an extent. Like, I can't take it on. Like, because can I get it beat? Yeah, I probably can. But how often do I get it beat? Well, I think I get the other two beat a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we did have a late question from our man Zach. Good man, good follower of the show.
We like Zach.
Which of the Victorian jockeys have the best understanding of sexual data and adjust to their rides accordingly?
That's
a tough question.
That is a doozy of a question. So it all depends where they're positioning in run, because there are some runners like Dwayne Dunn. Dwayne, I like you. I don't like you on a front runner, mate. Like, you turned it around a fair bit. You'd gotten a lot better on the front runners the past 6 months, but Dwayne could just anchor drop. Michael Walker on a front runner Oh my God, I do not want to see him there.
Yeah, anchor drop. Yeah.
Oh, they just do stuff that just shouldn't be done, and it's worked for them. It works for them as they keep getting the rides, they keep winning on horses, but I think they'd be better the way riding them differently. So there are ones like that who I think I will back them on anything but front runners. Like I think Dwayne Dunn and Michael Walker are immensely talented, and they do get it right more often than not from behind the speed. They're probably two of the best.
Yep.
At positioning there. But D. Oliver and Craig Williams, if you go back and watch all the races last week at Caulfield, I think Craig Williams got a picture perfect on the runner in the first, being King of Hastings. He didn't panic when he missed the start. And
even Search Squad on Wednesday, like horse.
That is a 20 out of 10 ride.
Going solid out in front, he just whips up around him, takes off, and really puts the sort of.
What was leading? That was
Delexation or whatever.
Yeah, Delexation. So I've seen Craig make that move, and I'm like, why haven't I backed this horse? I knew that he'd give it a 20 out of 10 ride. Like he always does on that horse. That horse has a really good final 800 metres. So that's not just about Craig understanding the section. It's about understanding that horse. Really good trainer input as well to say you can do that. And
he's got free rein.
Last 3 runs, he's almost done that every single time where he's made an early move and the horse has sustained it. Like, that was probably one of the better losing rides you'll ever see.
Yeah, Willow's pretty good sectionally. Jamie Carr, I know as a jockey, he's done a bit of work with some sort of sectional teams and learning more about data. I think she's...
Where is Jamie at the moment? Bit of a break? Or...
I don't know, she might be suspended or something like that. She's a pretty good jockey.
I saw Linda's back on Saturday.
Linda's pretty good sectionally out in front, so...
Oh, out in front, Linda on board, hell yeah.
Yeah. She's just a different gravy out in the bush.
It was like I used to love Katie Mellion on a front runner. She just had that in her head. She knew exactly what she was doing. Like, you could put Katie on... When she was claiming 2 kilograms, it was just a license to print money.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of jockeys out there that are fairly good at sort of rating tempos. I think there's... for mine, I think there's a few more jockeys out there who are now starting to clue on, much like a lot of the other sort of participants in the racing industry, about data and figures, and sort of starting to look more into it in sort of in a bit more depth with, say, some leading form analysts in the game or that kind of thing. So I think there is some participants sort of taking that angle a bit more. In terms of jockeys who do a lot of form, I know Benny Allen, he's pretty good at like sort of knowing the horses he's riding, where they like to be.
I'd assume Benny Mello does some as well, because...
Yeah, he'd be doing a lot. In terms of young jockeys, I think Ben Allen's definitely one. He gets a lot of help from Dean Lester. Michael Poy, conversations I have with Michael Poy, I've been very impressed with how much he knows. Sort of like, you expect him to know a fair bit about form, but he'd be honest.
I've met some that know...
They just go out and ride their horse.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine, because that's their job, but there's a few others that are sort of switching on that... yes, our job is to pilot the horse, but there's so much more to it.
About knowing the horse and knowing what they need to do and when,
Michael Poy is another one who I've had conversations with him about horses he's ridden for my dad or just form in general, and he seems to be one that's very switched on, so maybe something there for the punters.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming on. Hopefully next week I'm probably going to try and tag out for a week and get Dicko to host the show, because I'm looking a bit at the European things at the moment. It's starting to heat up in Europe, and Channel 10 have now signed on...
Yeah, what was that about?
It's a really good announcement, actually. So free-to-air for the first time ever, we are getting 7 Group 1 race days live coverage from the UK and France, so including the ARC meeting. So some really good...
You'll have to give us a bit of mail then for them.
Keep an eye out. There may be some mail going around that. So already on it.
Stand by, punters.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So
hopefully we can have a better day than we had at Cranbourne today, because that was absolute torture.
Yeah, let's not repeat Cranbourne. A lot of seconds, and we will hopefully get a few firsts on Saturday.
All right, punters.
Go well.